Hello, welcome. This is Sam of Sambookery, and today I have got a top 5 list for you guys. These are my top 5 essential tools for junk journaling. These are the things I use over and over again, no matter what size journal I'm working on, whether I'm making a little mini journal or a big standard journal or a folio kit. I always grab these tools. They're handy to have, and I feel like they're like the minimum. If I just have these 5 things, I can make a junk journal, no problem. So we will start with number 1 is a pair of scissors. These are my favorite pair of scissors. These are the Tonic Studios Tim Holtz scissors. They're the 9.5-inch size. They do have several sizes and styles. So this is the 9.5 size shears. 2 things I super love about these scissors. One is the handle. It's got a cushion grip handle. You can see this. It's not firm. And you don't even realize it. But you can sit there and cut for hours and you won't get any fatigue. You won't get those horrible bumps in your fingers from the pressure of the scissors cutting into your skin. They're so comfortable. You never even notice how long you've been using them because you don't get any of that hand fatigue. Super handy. Love that. My second favorite thing I love about these is that they have a serrated edge, like a micro serrated edge. And so when you're cutting, I'll just grab this. This is a page from my Sunflower Market mini journal kit. So when you're cutting, and I don't know if you guys can hear, but you can take one tiny little micro cut at a time and then it stops. And your paper doesn't slip like it does with normal scissors because it grabs onto the paper and holds onto it, which is really handy, especially when you're trying to like line up exactly on the edge of something. So you can cut nice and slow and make sure you're right on the line of what you want to cut. And then if I want to pivot, I can. My scissors aren't slipping. And it has really been a big help to me on cutting out things straight because I'm not super good at cutting straight lines, especially with regular scissors, which are pretty slippery. So that is the second reason why I love these scissors. So that is my like number 1 tool. If I only had one tool to cut things out, I would use these. Because of the serration, they do help you on corners too when you're cutting curves. They're not my number 1 choice, but they are good at it. And so if you could only have one cutting tool, I would say get these. The second tool I will show you guys are these scissors. These are by Cutterbee. They're EK Success. I don't know if you guys can see that. And they're called Cutterbee, and they're honestly, the last time I grabbed them, they were in packaging aimed at cutting herbs, like gardening shears for trimming herbs. But I always see them in the craft section too, and I grabbed these a long time ago just because like, oh, those are cute. They'll be a nice small scissor. These are excellent for doing small things, fussy cuts, curves, anything where you're in a tight space. Because these are great scissors, but because of the width of the blade when you're cutting, sometimes it obscures what you're cutting, so you can't see if you're right on the line or not. So I love these guys for doing fussy cutting. So I'll usually use the big scissors to cut out on the straight lines just to get whatever I'm cutting off of the main sheet. And then I'll do that to everything. And then I'll go back and do like this curve, and this curve with the small scissors because they don't get in the way at all. You can see right where you're cutting and they're really sharp. I've had a pair that was lasted me for years. I just recently bought another pack of them because I found them on sale somewhere when I was out. But these are the best scissors. They last a really long time. I've never had any trouble with them. I've cut out dozens and dozens and dozens of kits with these. And you can even use them for the corner rounding to make nice smooth cuts. They're really sharp. And so these are my second pair of scissors that I love to have with me. And then you can cut out fussy cuts with them. So those are my 2 scissors. I always use these. Are the only 2 I use for doing any of my junk journaling. Over the years I've tried several. Once I found these, that's it. I landed on them. These, I'll just keep rebuying them as they wear out over the years. But there is one other cutting thing I like to use because sometimes there are a lot of long, straight cuts in junk journaling, and that can be tedious with scissors. So I do also love this Fiskars paper trimmer. I think I'll pull the camera up so I can turn it the other way, but just to show you, Fiskars has a ton of paper trimmers. I do link all of these in my Amazon storefront for you guys. That is like an affiliate link storefront, so I do get a commission if you buy something sometimes. But just so I can organize everything for you, I do have like a tools section there, and it has this on here. So let me pull the camera up and I will show this to you. Okay, I'll just keep it in this direction so you guys can see everything. This one has a lock here, which locks it. So when I store it standing upright usually, and that way this bit does not flop around, which I love that. Or if you want to stick it in a bag to do journaling, you know, on the go, that's great. But my favorite part of this, and let's see if you guys can see, is right here in between this opening, there is a thin metal wire. And this wire shows you exactly where the blade is going to cut, so you don't miscut anything. I don't know if you'd be able to see it better with this paper behind it or not. But that is my favorite feature of this, because beforehand, you're just trying to line up, before I got this, you're just trying to line it up with this groove here, and it's not always kind of obvious where it's going to cut. And when you're doing junk journaling, you're not trying to cut a certain dimension, you're not trying to cut an inch off of something, which is what these were normally designed for. You're trying to cut on this exact line. So having this wire here lets me, let's see, let's keep working on, this is the journal cover. We'll just cut that. So when I lay this here, this metal wire, which I'll try to zoom in on in editing to zoom close up for you guys, but it's right on the edge of where the print is next to the white. And then you just press and cut. And now I'm just right there. I don't have to guess. I'm not having to recut it 2 or 3 times. I don't have extra white showing because it wasn't exactly lined up. It cuts right where I want it every time. So handy. The only downside on this is these blades do wear out. I mean, just like scissors, like anything you cut with wears out. So you do have to replace them. But other than that, it is so nice. And it does have measurements on it if you do need to measure something, if you're cutting. Like sometimes I'll print out a kit and I'll cut all the pages out for the kit, and then I'll see what size those are, and I'll get some of my tea-dyed paper, some just found paper, junk mail, and I'll cut it to the same size. So I do use the rulers for that. And it's really nice if you have scrapbook paper that's 12 inches, this flips out here and it goes all the way out to 15 inches. So if you need to measure something on here in this direction, super handy. It does also have like standard sizes like ATCs and 3x5s and 4x6s and things like that already marked on here for you. So if you're card making and you do a lot of the same size, it's already on here super fast and quick to line up. Let's pop this back in. On the bottom, it's got really nice rubber feet here so it doesn't mar your surface, and it kind of holds it in place so it doesn't slide as much when you're cutting. So that is another favorite cutting tool that if I only had one paper trimmer, this is the one I would have. And it's kind of like a medium priced one. There are cheaper ones and there are way more expensive ones. This one's kind of in the middle, and you can always usually find it at a discount or with a coupon or something. I think I got mine at Michael's. But this is a very handy one to have. So that's my number 3 essential junk journaling tool. Let me zoom back in a little bit. All right, and my number 4 tool is by We Are Memory Keepers. I love their things. They make some really innovative and functional crafting tools. And this is their mini scoring board. Scoring board is super handy when you're junk journaling, because there are a lot of things you need to fold, and if you can crease the fold first, it folds much neater and cleaner and easier. So what I use this for is lining up things on the lines on the board, and they usually always comes with a bone folder / scoring tool, and then scoring on that. So when you get this raised edge here, it just kind of creases the paper and makes it a lot easier to bend, and you won't get that cracking or those like crooked folds if you don't have the scoring board. So super handy. And then the reason why this is number 4 is on my list too, because a bone folder is it's kind of essential. So if I didn't have the scoring board with a bone folder, I would have put a bone folder on my top 5 list. But this is kind of killing two things. I won't say that. It's feeding 2 birds with 1 seed, right? That's the polite rephrasing of that analogy. And then it comes with a bone folder, and also this tip is great for scoring. It gets right in the grooves and presses the paper in. So if you have this, you don't need a separate bone folder. This will work anytime you need to fold something. This measures, I think we are 6 inches, no, let me see, 5.5 inches wide, and it goes to 7 inches long. And so that is long enough to make most things. If your paper is a little bit longer, like some of my, I think the full-size journal pages, journal cover is a little bit longer, you can always put it in. Let's say it was this one, right? So it goes past here. You can always put it in. We'll pretend we're scoring here and score here. When you get to the end, you take it out, flip it over, and of course you'll be scoring on a line that's marked, and then score the rest of it in this direction. So it's super handy, tiny, does everything you need a scoring board to do, plus has the bone folder. So that is definitely my number 4 essential junk journaling tool. And then the last thing you need when you're junk journaling is some way to hook things together, right? There are many things you can use. I've tried so many glues, tapes, all the things over the years. And this is my absolute favorite. This is art glitter glue. I believe they originally designed this for gluing glitter down. I've never used it for that. This is just wonderful for gluing paper. So let me see. We'll cut some scraps here and I will show you. I love this for a couple of reasons. One, it comes, I didn't have to buy anything extra. When I buy it, it comes with this extra metal bit and the pin, which gives you a super, super fine bead of glue. So you're not wasting glue, you're not having it ooze out the seams, it's not messy, and you can get it very precise, especially if you're doing small things. Get the glue exactly where you want. Put this on here. Oh, I didn't cover up that part. That's okay. And then you give it 1001, 1002, 1003. All right, it's already holding. Your paper is ruined, like it's a permanent bond. So that's the only downside I would say, is if you take a long time to position things or get them right where you want, this might not be your glue. But I'm usually making things quickly. I'm not 100% concerned about being accurate. Like if it's off a tiny bit, I'm okay with that. What I want is to like glue something, turn the page, and work on the next page immediately and not have to sit there and wait for the glue to dry. And so before, the only way I could do that was like double-sided tape, because that doesn't need drying. But that does not hold up over time. A lot of the tape will yellow your paper, it will fall off. So this art glitter glue is a white glue. It's a permanent, but it's water-based, so it doesn't have a smell like some of the other glues, and it's easy to clean up, it's not toxic, and it's acid-free. So when you're making junk journals and you want them to last for years and years, you want to use acid-free products, right? So they don't deteriorate over time. And this is acid-free. So this is why it is my number 5 most essential tool for junk journaling. I love this stuff. I get it in this bottle, and then I get a like ginormous bottle, like this big, like a shampoo bottle sized refill. So I can refill these small bottles. I have also bought these craft bottles that have a little bit bigger, small tip, but a little bit bigger than this, just at the store, just so I can have multiple bottles on the go. These Dollar General, I think, these empty bottles, but you can find these empty craft bottles anywhere. I always use art glitter glue though. So if you see either of these bottles in, it's always the art glitter glue. That's the only white glue I use. And to me, that is an essential tool. I can't make my junk journal kits, my junk journals, without that. So that is everything. I just want to show you guys again what my top 5 essential junk journaling tools are. And if you've watched any of my videos, you've probably seen all of these things. So they pretty much come out in every video. Maybe not the trimmer, honestly, because it is so big, it doesn't fit on the filming desk in the shot. And so I don't always pull this one out, but I'll usually will cut my things off camera with this and come back like, okay, I've cut everything out. That's what I'm using. So these are my top 5 essential tools for junk journaling. If you're just getting started and you only had these things, you could make junk journals forever with just these things. I know I could. All right, thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching this video, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.